Okay, so now we're going to apply a background to our image. So the first thing we're going to do is make sure that we've got the gradient tool selected. If you can't find the gradient tool, it might be this paint bucket icon. So if you can see the paint bucket, left click and hold, then while you're holding down the left mouse button, drag across, and you can see that the gradient tool will become highlighted. When you release, it will switch to this gradient icon. So now that we've got the gradient, we can now choose our colours. So I'm going to have a night sky as my background, so I want two dark blues, one darker than the other. So what I've done there is I'm going to bring up the colour picker. So I'm going to come over to the foreground colour icon, which is currently this black one, and I'm just going to left click once. I can now come over here. I can use this window and this slider to pick a colour. So first of all, I'm going to pick my hue. I reckon that's going to be a good starting place. Now I'm going to come over here until I find a colour that I like. So where I'm looking is over on this. This is going to be my new colour, which I select. So as I left click and hold, you can see that that is updating. So I'm just going to start off with that. So now I've got my colour selected, I'm going to hit OK. So now I need a second colour to have a gradient too. So now you can see there's two parts to this colour, this set of colours, and this one which is behind it on the right hand side is set background colour. So I've left clicked on that. Now I'm going to choose another shade of blue. What you can do is you can pick up colours from anywhere on your artboard. So if you've got other documents open, you can actually pick up colours from different places. Well, I'm going to pick up this blue as a starting point, and I'm just going to come down here until I find a nice dark blue. I'm going to hit OK. So we've got two different shades of blue. So now what we need to do is make sure that we're using the correct gradient. So if you click on this drop down arrow, you'll see you've got all these different types of gradient, and these are just little presets. So this one in the top left is going to be a foreground to background, and that means the foreground colour and the background colour which you have selected down here. So I'm just going to go ahead and left click on that. So then I actually want a linear gradient. So you've got all these different options along the top here, and I want this one. This is the first one on the left. So I can now left click and hold down the shift key, and I can drag up. By holding down the shift key, that constrains my gradient's angle to be either 90 degrees or 45 degrees or so on. So you can see that if I left click and hold down the shift key, I can drag up, and as I drag to the left, it's not going to update until it suddenly pops to a 45 degree angle. You can see it's only actually going in 45 degree increments. So just have a little experiment with this. If you don't have the shift key held down, you can do it in any angle that you like. You can, depending on how long you drag for, depends on how far the gradient is actually going to have a transition for. So I don't want to go too far up. I'm just going to go up to about here, and you can see we've got a nice blue here and a full dark here, and then it sort of changes gradually until it gets to my background colour, and that's fine. That'll do for now. So that is stage 2.